Happy September, everybody! This video you're watching was recorded in May. For the foreseeable future, I will be uploading game hunting videos the second Friday of every month that were recorded 3 months ago. So next month's video will be recorded in June, and then the following month's video will be recorded in July, and so on and so forth. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe, and enjoy the video. So here's the first haul. It is May 3rd right now, and we have a pretty humble haul here. We got Left 4 Dead 2 disc only for $4, and then Batman Return to Arkham and SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 for $5. And then GTA Vice City Stories case with GTA Liberty City Stories disc inside for $2, so $11 spent. But don't worry, there will be actual footage of me finding the games for the rest of the video because I wasn't expecting to find anything today, but here, moving on. From May 4th to May 9th, GameStop ran these 3 promotions all at once, which led to a bunch of GameStop hunting, which you're about to see in the next segment of the video. So our first time live in the field comes to you from a GameStop, which luckily had Blacksite Area 51 on the Xbox 360 in stock, along with a million Funko Pops and actually a couple Amiibos, which was pleasant to see. I didn't end up buying any, but I did also see this N64 game in the glass case with a sticker on the sticker. Great stuff here from GameStop, along with these PS3 games, which I ended up grabbing. So here's the haul. The only not PS3 game we got was Need for Speed Most Wanted on the PS2, which I've heard this is a pretty good one. And the rest of it was a bunch of PS3 games. This one I actually did need for a video. And I got Bleach Soul Resurrection, which as of May, this is a pretty solid deal for $10, as well as God of War Ascension, which I did not have for my collection. Of course, this did end up being free because of trade credits, so pretty solid haul for free. Our next clip comes to you from the next GameStop I went to, which had the fabled "Be Back in 10 Minutes" sign that the employees love throwing up there any chance they get. We also found this Far Cry compilation for $5, which didn't end up working for the 4 for $10 deal because it was the wrong sticker and the employee would not honor the one that was actually on the case, which screwed me over. So a pretty good haul for $40. I'm definitely not planning to pull some chicanery with that Uncharted Lost Legacy. So here's the final GameStop trip of the video. We ended up going to this one about an hour and a half after they were supposed to open and they were still closed. So we moved on to the next GameStop. In case anyone was wondering, this is my least favorite GameStop employee of all time. And this retro GameStop actually did have some decent stuff. Some N64, Dreamcast, PS1, which you don't see much, and I ended up getting some pretty decent stuff. Gotta love when GameStop mismarks an N64 expansion pack as a memory card controller pack, and also gotta love picking up another copy of Persona 5 for the collection, number 16. As I'm sure some of you know, my bread and butter for game hunting is the flea market, so that's what the next few clips are going to be. Once you pull out Big Bumpin' with a $15 sticker on it, you know it's time to start hunting for some other awful prices, so that's what this clip is. It's just me pulling games to try to find ones that are overpriced and have a nice chuckle at it. This wasn't the greatest flea market day of all time. I pulled a Need for Speed Carbon out of this pile right here for $3, which wasn't terrible. This next pile here was nothing crazy. It was just a bunch of cheaper games in pretty awful condition, but Batman Arkham City is a pretty fire game. Here's another box that we found. It was 2 for $1 with all sports games, a couple of which were somewhat modern, like 22 and 23, 24, which would have been worth grabbing for 2 for $1, but they were missing the disc. Next is a very important part of flea marketing. The cousin method. Hey, my cousin, hey. No, not that one, not that one. The idea is this. If you go to the flea market often, you're going to run into a lot of weird people. So in order to get out of weird situations, you bring up an imaginary cousin.
I forgot how much you said, but a lot of them could have been like shitty, It's like $2. You wanted 30 for the whole case. Maybe 2 games were worth it.
Yeah. I mean, that would be good for my cousin. He's so he clears them quick. We had to buy him a lemon shark to keep him occupied, and he still clears them quick.
Yeah, he gets rid of all the games quick too.
It's his mental retardation. Thank you. So some very humble stuff here. We got 2 graphing calculators, which are always a good pickup. We got a Need for Speed Carbon, Spec Ops The Line, and Bullet Storm Full Clip Edition, and then this PS2 controller, which is a pretty good color. I've always liked this one for $1. We're back again here at the flea market, and I walked up on this stack of Xbox 360 games, and here are some of the ones that I was sorting through. I ended up getting this short stack of games right here that you see, and then these 2 more for $8 later, and this Dollar Wii Sports at a church sale. It was a surprisingly good morning. Started off with a Minecraft and a Left 4 Dead for $8. There was the Left 4 Dead 2 disc only, but it was broken. And on the way home, I stopped at a random church sale and Wii Sports for $1. Next, for 16 bucks, I got this sealed Crash Mind Over Mutant, along with Namco Museum Virtual Arcade, the Halo Wars Steelbook, and a case and manual only for Manhunt on the PS2 for $16. That was a very good deal. This game is worth a pretty good amount on its own. It is now the 24th, so we're entering the final stretch of May game hunting, and this is another flea market haul. I was walking around and didn't end up getting anything until the final table, where I saw that glimmer of Xbox green in the distance and ended up finding a ton of different bins of games. The guy previously told me that they were all between $1 and $3 each, and while most of these aren't exactly what you'd call, stellar games, they were at least fun to dig through, and we found a couple stragglers here and there that were worth grabbing for that price. What you're seeing here is me doing a second look through everything after I already picked out my games, just to see if I found anything else that was good on a second look, and that didn't end up happening. But here's what I ended up actually grabbing from this bin. Things were looking pretty bleak until the final table, when I spotted a glimmer of Xbox green in the distance, and then I got all this stuff for 24 bucks. We got a Sonic Unleashed here for the Wii, which case has got to be replaced, but it's not bad. A Halo 2 Steelbook, a bit rusty, but these were all about $1, $2, $3 each. Very cheap stuff. This Banjo-Kazooie VHS, which is kind of interesting. A bunch of PSP games here. The best one is the Soul Calibur game. Black Ops 2 on the PS3. Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year edition. God of War Origins Collection, Battle of Middle-earth 2, and SmackDown 2011. So, pretty good stuff. Also, a little PSA. I grabbed one more game, which was Infinite Undiscovery on the Xbox 360. I was mistaken because I forgot that this game is a double discer. So if you ever see a disc for Infinite Undiscovery, just know that it is a 2-disc game. We're here for the big finale of the month, and I'm just going to answer one question that I'm sure some people have had. How come some games have a +0 for the value? And the reason for that is because that game got traded into GameStop, and effectively the dollar amount was taken out of my price paid. We have another bag of shit here to trade in. Here's the last haul of the month. As you see, we got this complete in box Wii here. The only reason I bought it is because the box is in very good condition and it has the Wii Sports in it. And I also bundled it with this cool little Pokemon Game Boy carton case for 45 bucks. So pretty solid there. And beyond that, we got a bunch of other games here. I'll throw up the total value of this lot here. I don't even know what I paid for it off the top of my head. There's nothing crazy in there, but just some decent stuff. Along with this 2K14 and that Wii Sports from a couple weeks ago. It's not destroyed anymore. 3 PS1 games for $18. Mech Warrior 2, Final Fantasy 8 and 9. I already had 7, so we got all of them now. And my fellow gamer, Last Burger, Napoleon the Young Goose, bought 36 copies of Modern Warfare 2 for $10, so I had to steal one. That's the end of May game collecting. And the $95 of GameStop trade credit will continue into next month. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and another one next week. I'm sure you're watching this in September, so I wonder if at that point I will have continued my weekly uploading, but hopefully I did. We got, another video next week. Allegedly.